Welcome to your 5 minutes of personal and professional development. Today, we're going to squeeze the juice out of the book that has changed the financial mindset of millions around the world, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Imagine that everything you were taught about money is incomplete. What if I told you that working hard at a secure job isn't the path to wealth, but to a life of financial worry? This book shows you why the rich don't work for money, but instead make money work for them. It's a guide to escaping what the author calls the rat race. Robert Kiyosaki tells his own story through the lens of two fathers: his biological father, a highly educated man with a high-ranking government job but with constant money problems, his poor dad, and his best friend's father, an entrepreneur without a college degree who became one of the wealthiest men in Hawaii, his rich dad. The fundamental difference between them wasn't their salary, but their mindset. While his poor dad advised him study, get good grades, and find a safe job, his rich dad told him, learn how money works so you can put it to work for you. This book revolves around a revolutionary yet simple idea: the difference between assets and liabilities. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket, like a rental property or stocks that pay dividends. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket, like your home mortgage, a car loan, or credit card debt. The middle and poor classes focus on buying liabilities they believe are assets, like their own home. The rich, on the other hand, focus on building the strong column of assets that generate passive income. This constant cash flow from their assets is what gives them financial freedom. They don't depend on a paycheck. If they stopped working tomorrow, their assets would continue to pay for their expenses. That is true wealth for Kiyosaki. Another powerful idea is the importance of financial intelligence. The traditional education system doesn't teach us how to manage our money. That's why many people with high salaries have huge financial problems. It's not about how much you earn, but how much you keep and what you do with it. Kiyosaki insists that we must dedicate time to our financial education, learning about investments, accounting, markets, understanding the language of money. He encourages us to work to learn, not just to earn. He advises taking jobs that, even if they don't pay as much, teach us valuable skills like sales, marketing, or leadership. These are the skills that will later allow us to identify and create business and investment opportunities. Finally, the book pushes us to overcome the main obstacles that prevent us from building wealth: the fear of losing money, cynicism, laziness, and bad habits. It teaches us that the rich are not afraid of calculated risks because they know that failures are part of the learning process to achieve success. What we must always remember from this book is, first, the clear difference between an asset and a liability. An asset feeds you. A liability eats your money. Your goal is to buy assets. Second, the rich don't work for a salary. They make their money and assets work for them by generating passive income. Third, financial education is your greatest asset. No one will teach it to you in school. It's your responsibility to learn how money works. Fourth, don't be afraid of risks. The biggest risk is doing nothing and spending your life working for others, trapped in the rat race. Remember, this is just the brief summary of the potential you can get from this book. Get yourself a copy by supporting your local bookstore if you want to learn more. Share this summary in your communities and WhatsApp groups to keep the chain of help going. If it has helped you, you can make it help someone else. Don't miss the next summary.